Hi everyone. So I know before all this started, a few of you expressed a desire to want to learn about body action and hip action in rumba. But I thought before we get into like the details of a specific dance, that we should do a video like explaining the fundamentals of hip action and body action, like the mechanics, if you will. So like then you can understand it properly and then apply it to each of your dances. And now's a great time to do it really, because you can feel a bit self-conscious in a class, like with other people, like, oh, people are watching me moving my hips and this is a bit strange. But now we're stuck at home, in front of your bedroom, in your bedroom in front of your mirror, it's the perfect time to do it, because like you're not self-conscious, it's just you, your own space, and you're free to look as silly as you want. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take what you might I've heard other people refer to as a figure of 8 hip action, so where your hips go in a figure of 8. And the main thing I want you to take away from this is the distinction between your rib cage and your hips, because they're two separate things, but they work together in this lovely little thing we call body action. So if we take a shoulder width stance, the start of our figure 8 is going to start in this corner. And we send our rib cage first, just our rib cage, not our hips. We send it to this corner, and this is the start of what Katie was talking about in her posture video about opposing forces. So this side is stretching while this one is hanging back. So we send our rib cage first, and then our hip follows and goes diagonally forward here. So we go bottom. Then from here we do the bottom of an 8, so we send our hip round. And as I do that, I actually straighten my leg. So my knees were a bit bent before, because that helps you get, I don't study biology, it just helps. So that's half of our 8, rib, hip, round. Now you can see we've already got this opposing stretch going if you've done it right, because our hip is being pulled back this way, because we're settled into our hip. And this rib cage is already being stretched and sent over here. So this is where we cut through the middle of our other half of the figure 8. We send our rib cage forward, and then our hip goes from here to there. So it goes jump, and then from here we do the other round where we straighten our leg here, and then we're ready to start again with our rib cage going this way. So rib, hip, round, 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 rib, hip, round. And the quicker you're able to do this, your focus has to be on this middle bit. The quicker you go, you kind of feel like your stomach is scrunching in, so you're like someone just punched you, and you're using that muscle as if someone's just punched you, like in the middle, so the crossover bit of your 8. So we do our bottom bit of an 8, and then here you want to go ha. So like, so you go shoo, so. Excuse the funny noises. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you're struggling to see yourself in the mirror, it can be quite helpful to put your hands here, so you're just focusing on bits of your body. So you can go 2, 3, 4, and I've just started counting rumba there, because the figure of 8 hip action is essentially a cucaracha in rumba. So if I just did a sliding door, 2, 3, 4, 1, I go into my cucaracha, and we're going to start our figure of 8 this way this time. So my rib cage has gone to this corner, my hip's going to follow with this step, 2, it's gone round, 2, rib cage forward, following the hip, 3, 4, 1. So we go 2, 3, 4, 1. And in rumba you'd hold the 4, 1. And the 1 is when you'd go ha. So you go 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. So that's basically a cucaracha in rumba. But of course you can also apply this figure of 8 to like other dances. So what I like to do before my cha-cha when, you know, when you're waiting for your partner to start, you can kind of play around with the rhythm. So you go 2, 3, 4, 1. That's just a quick figure of 8 where the emphasis is on the 2, 2, and you do it all in one movement here instead of 2, 3, like in rumba. So do 2, 3, 4, 1. Or you can kind of play around the time and go 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. And that 4 and is like the middle bit of your 8 going, I'm going to go there? No, I'm not. Now I am. So 2, 3, 4, and 1. 2, 3, 4, and 1. Let's think samba. Samba, you can do your figure 8 as yeah, da 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 da. There's a lot more you can play around with in samba. You can, I'll talk about this like another time, but like once you understand the distinction between your rips and your hips, you can, instead of doing figure 8, you can do like round in samba. So like this rib cage forward, then the hip, and then like this rib cage forward. So like, and that punching feeling again. Or you do the other way, so like this rib cage forward, da 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 da. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You can't really do figure 8 and jive, but the same like opposing forces kind of apply. So like if I was waiting for my jive to start, I've got this rib cage forward while my hip is back. And passo, while these other dances, your rib cage is sent first and your hips follow. Because we now understand the distinction between our hips and our rib cage, it makes a passo walk a lot easier because we're switching it around. Instead of the rib cage going first, our hips are going first and our rib cage is holding back. But there is this stretch and this like kind of crunch on the other side. So our hips are gone first. If I was to do a passo walk, hips first, rib cage back, and it just makes so much more sense. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it, guys. So just